Welcome back to my channel, Famous and Fabulous. Dana Perino has been a lighthouse for many years. Of drive and Grace's self-assurance, presence of a keen mind and polished manner became a byword for power and achievement in a challenging world. As the 26th press secretary at the White House under George W. Bush as president from 2007 until 2009, saw Dana leave her mark on history, becoming just the second female to hold the position following D.D. Myers during the Clinton Today administration. Is a reliable Fox News political analyst and a lively co-host of the 5 Dana episodes, keeps influencing and educating millions behind the polished professionalism, as well as her trait-welcoming smile. But there's a harsh reality behind it. More solemn. For years, Dana has kept quiet, fought a very personal war for her husband's declining health following, keeping this conflict confidential. Eventually, the tough commentator revealed the tragic reality, and in this video, we will guide you through it. But let's explore this new phase of her life. Take a step back and examine Dana's path and the chance encounter she had with Peter Thiemann, who has supported her while at music. The journey of Dana Perino began in May in the sleepy village of Evanston in 1972. Despite her family's relocation to Wyoming, Denver, Colorado, at the age of 2, Wyoming remained around her for years. Summer's affection for her grandfathers, she learned the value of hard work from ranch, tenacity, and the conviction that the challenge was too great for her to handle. Grandfather's unflinching hope turned into she was forming the grit as a part of herself. Later in life, she would require her father. Leo Perino was instrumental in the development of her evenings with a sharp mind, frequently include reading newspapers while seated together and discussing the major stories of the day. However, her father wasn't merely engaging in polite chat, forced her to exercise critical thought and comprehend every aspect of a problem before establishing a belief. This practice of she would remember the careful analysis. During her professional life, Dana took those Colorado State University lessons. There she pursued her studies in mass communication. She didn't know Spanish or political science. Simply remain in the classroom, she said. Initially entered the broadcasting industry, she worked for Rocky Mountain PBS and KTSC TV station and managed a demanding midnight shift at KCYFM radio, juggling homework at 2 in the morning. Making wake-up calls wasn't simple, but it strengthened her and demonstrated to her what she was able to fulfill her ambitions, which continued. Dana obtained a master's degree there at Springfield's University of Illinois, while filing a report for WCIA, capturing the commotion of the fast-paced high in the state capital pressure-filled setting, taught her how to keep cool when under fire by doing something that would turn into one of her defining strengths. Journey from its humble beginnings in the little town Dana's in the center of Washington, D.C. The foundation of the path was curiosity and resiliency, with a desire to learn about the world. Her early experiences around her provided, giving her the abilities and self-assurance to manage the difficulties that she faced. Manner, creating the conditions for her to become a well-respected political media voice. Following the completion of her master's degree in learning the ropes as a journalist, Perino entered politics with audacity. For Dana, this was not merely a job change. It was an opportunity to participate of something greater and create a genuine influence. Her initial political position was as a congressman. Scott's aide. Colorado's McInnes wasn't glitzy, but she had a front-row seat to the Capitol's internal operations, from organizing schedules to overseeing. Dana swiftly discovered several details, that even the tiniest things in politics issue, and she took care to complete them effectively. Her efforts were rewarded when she was elevated to the position of press secretary for Dan's share of Congress, who was addressing significant problems in energy policy. All of a sudden, Dana was in the middle of things, juggling difficult subjects that everyone had an viewpoint on. As anticipated, the every word she wrote was under genuine pressure, or uttered needed to be well thought out. But rather than feeling threatened, jobs weren't easy in these early days, but they gave Dana communication skills. Clearly, remain composed and think while under fire. On her feet, every obstacle served as a teaching moment. Every accomplishment is a small step. Did she realize her abilities would turn into as the basis for the well-known profession that lay when Congressman Dan Scher appeared? Dana declared his retirement in 1998, faced a significant choice that she had been working diligently in Washington, creating her markers in politics, but rather than leaping, she immediately moved into a different role. She took a step back, packed her things, and relocated to the United Kingdom alongside her spouse. It was an opportunity for Peter McMahon to take a breath, reboot, and adopt a new perspective on life. Dana's time spent living overseas allowed her to contemplate and rejuvenate, yet her affection for after three, politics, never truly left her. Years later, Dana came back to Washington, prepared to return to the fight. In 2001, she assumed the position of spokesman for the United States Department of Justice, has to deal with difficult subjects. When the strain was constant and every syllable mattered was intense, but Dana remained composed and steady. Strategy enabled her to shine. By 2003, was prepared to proceed and joined the White House Environmental Council as Deputy Communications Director. This position changed the game. Environmental problems are never easy, and Dana had to come up with explanations, complex and frequently contentious subjects. She picked up the skill of creating clever, unambiguous messages while utilizing the political labyrinth with time, and her diligence and astute judgment brought her a strong standing in the White House. Although Dana's career was growing, the largest obstacle remained when the White House press secretary, Dana, was asked to step down Tony Snow. Step up. The position was enormous, and the pressure was sufficient to force anyone to. Dana almost made them second-guess themselves. Departed, but White pushed him, Director of House Communications. Ed Gillespie made the decision to pursue it, even though Dana then battled self-doubt. With so many Ivy League grads in the world, she felt the need to prove herself at times, more about herself than others, but rather than allowing her insecurities to hinder her, she made use of it to increase her motivation. She was undoubtedly the most prepared at all times. The individual reading and researching in the room and improving her abilities, naturally, Dana serving as press secretary for the White House for George W. Bush, the president, was anything but easy, but there was always pressure on the work, continuous briefings, pressing choices, and the necessity of maintaining composure when the world observed that the stress was unrelenting. And following its departure in 2009, it left an impression on Dana after 2 years off the natius. Tentis is among the most bizarre parts of her term. Began in 2008, amid a journey to Iraq, under President Bush's. A journalist holding a press conference unexpectedly tossed a shoe at MP in the Secret Service agent intervened amid the pandemonium to safeguard the president and pushed a microphone inadvertently into Dana's eye. She ultimately had a severe bruising, but she continued to do so despite the discomfort. Going without any complaints, no frills, only simple willpower to get the position. Soon following the White House visit, Dana had to determine what to do next with little prodding from Sean Hannity, she opted to enter the television industry at Fox News. It was a brand new planet, but with its own set of challenges that some individuals didn't believe she could go from serving as a spokesperson for the government to being an impartial political analyst. They dismissed her as a mere Republican mouthpiece. Dana refused to let those uncertainties define her. Her consistent presence and astute insight with logical strategy, she gradually prevailed individuals over. Shows such as The Five in America's Newsroom provided her with the opportunity to demonstrate that she was more than a political insider. She rose to. People trusted her for her insightful opinions, even as the news became tangled while Dana Perino was out there using her influence and establishing a distinguished career in front of the closed-door cameras. She was silently dealing with some extremely difficult challenges as she provided incisive remarks and kept her composure. Manner on screen, she was additionally carrying the burden of taking care of her partner. You witness the love between Peter and Dana. The story seems like something from the romantic film Deanna Wasn't Particularly Looking for Love as she got on an August flight from Denver to Chicago 1997. But destiny had different ideas when she sat down and discovered who she was. Next to the charming British man, Peter McMahon, with a kind grin and a flash with interest in his eyes, her planning began. To change the ambience of Washington, D.C. felt really repulsive to her at the moment, and this meeting might have been the catalyst for Peter saw that she needed fresh air. The adorable little blonde who swings ponytails strolling down the path before him. Jetway wished that he would be. He was sitting next to her, and luck was on his side. Observing his British accent, Dananot wearing a wedding band, and his unquestionable charisma, and believed he was fascinating for the next 2.5 hours as they talked. With ease, both are reluctant for it to end. Dana wanted to, when the plane touched down, ensure that Peter could get in touch with her, but she didn't want to come across as overly eager. She gave him a card in typical Dana flair that removed her phone number from it. Peter's office number, fax number, and email caught the cue and sent her a flurry of emails, revealed his feelings ever since that. 10 days after the initial conversation, Dana checked her email, which was full with tense expectation, where even sleeping and eating were subordinated to. After circling her thoughts, she eventually read his message and their relationship were selected. They started exactly where it left off, accruing foreign phone charges as they helped close the distance between DC and the UK before deciding to meet in New York, arriving early. Orleans, Peter was ecstatic. To the airport while walking at Dana Hart, a teenager on his first date. She was aware that she needed to leave the plane as soon as it touched down, or her anxiety might overcome her there. A whirlwind romance soon won momentum. In under a year, Peter suggested rashly outside the Washington Cathedral, explains that it was the only possible way for them to be together, but Dana is always considerate, and purposefully took her time to reply. Precisely a year following their infamous encounter, she gave Peter the letter contained reflections on their time together, their love, and her final sentiments. She gave him the response he had been anticipating, and with that they secured the ever since Peter and Dana tied the. They got married in 1998, and their union has been attle of steadfast assistance. And mutual Peter's laughter wasn't limited to Dana's husband, who served as her pillar of support, and may use his ability to bring her back to reality. Humor, and a calm outlook in particular. When the tumultuous press conferences or the Fox News's intensity was felt overwhelming as Dana dealt with their requirements of public life, Peter was constantly there with a soothing phrase or a clever comment to assist her in keeping things in viewpoint. Yet even the most powerful, recently, relationships have been put to the test. Dana shown that Peter has been dealing with some severe health issues. She maintained the private information, but what she said made it evident that this was more than a small hiccup in the road for a pair that's constantly. This was a storm as they leaned on one another. Neither of them anticipated the sudden as positions changed. Dana discovered she wasn't simply juggling her work, but taking a step in the capacity of Peter's caretaker, overseeing both a prominent, taking care of a loved one while working, is no Dana had to come up with fresh methods for a little task, to put her time and effort first. Their lives have had a difficult phase, an uncertainty, but it also demonstrates how profound. Their relationship endures the difficulties they face, them to confront their flaws and concerns. Directly, yet rather than shattering them, it drew them closer and they leaned into their mutually respectful past and encouraged discovering strength in the same humor and viewpoint that have endured. Through them previously, in spite of his health challenges, Peter has maintained his optimism and has kept Dana motivated with his tenacity. And however, Dana is more determined than based on her personal experiences, such as a scar on her forehead with a place that need early identification and care to gain a deeper comprehension of Peter's. Through that event, she came to understand how brittle life can be, which made her dedication to enjoying each moment throughout. This journey together, they've discovered that genuine love is more than just sharing triumphs. Is about retaining mutual support when life throws its most difficult. Unquestionably, Dana and Peter's punches, traveling together, is a potent testament to the power of love, collaboration, and steadfast dedication. Although the future may be uncertain, their relationship has often shown itself to be that when two individuals stand next to each other, they can withstand even the most difficult storms. As a well-known person, Dana continually balances her once prominent profession, having a very personal difficulties that Fox News anchors muster to remain calm and concentrated, even when her backstage world is. This balancing act is everything but serene. Dana has not yet achieved an easy achievement. Really open about her journey, enabling her viewers to look past her candor makes her a polished TV personality. Her personal example demonstrates that even those who appear to be completely composed, moments of susceptibility and doubt, but Dana extends an invitation, hints about her private life. She's also cautious. To preserve Peter's confidentiality, this setting boundaries with consideration is a reminding people that even in the spotlight, there are aspects of life that should endure. Personally, it's this equilibrium of openness and prudence that connects with her audience, creating a sincere bond based on sincerity and respect. As previously said, the Dana and Peter's strength. Mutual support is the foundation of a relationship. Throughout the highs and lows, trust Dana has always been urged by Peter to prosper in her profession by providing unwavering assistance that permits her to stretch her wings. Dana has demonstrated her intense loyalty, jumping up when Peter's health issues surfaced, demonstrating because being present is necessary for a genuine partnership, not only for the triumphs but also for the difficulties to Peter's hope. And comedy has always served as a stabilizing influence. For Dana, since it facilitates her navigation of the Washington's high press surroundings and the media industry when things got tough, unforeseen difficulties along the route bond remained steadfast, deepened collectively. They have demonstrated that love is more than just happiness and success, but about persevering through the challenging times as well. It's about modifying and providing support and discovering each other's power when life need it. Ultimately, Perino's tale is amongst strike a balance between sincerity and resiliency, sort of equilibrium that virtually impossible to accomplish, but she managed to makes it appear natural, regardless of she's dealing with serious political forces to help her get through Peter health issues, or empowering youth. Dana's life as a woman provides evidence that, and upholding your moral principles, can go. The good news along with her publications is, and everything will be all right as well. Share tidbits about this adventure and the Dana, the lessons she's learnt so far, doesn't mince words when speaking, candidly discussing feeling uncomfortable or occasionally uneasy rather than framing success as something she couldn't achieve, makes it obvious that the goal is to show, continuing to study and not abandoning her stories have resonance because they are authentic. Reminder that perseverance and hard work are more important than sharing isn't all that perfection Dana is about. Suggestions from books through her Monitor mentoring program assists young women in obtaining rapid, useful navigational guidance. She is aware that not all of their professions, everyone is available for extended mentoring sessions. Hence she provides the type of guidance that you can take in a few minutes, and occasionally that's all. Actions 2. Bring about change. Dana seeks tranquility away from the spotlight. She and Peter dwell in the quiet moments, in the slow-paced town of Bayard, New Jersey down, and it's definitely simpler to reconnect. They maintain a New York City apartment for work, but it's home in New Jersey, where she takes Percy, her dog, for walks along the. In a good book, Shaw loses herself and recharges. These easy practices assist her maintain your ground, demonstrating that even in a busy life, there's space for relaxation and happiness. Her passion for reading has grown to be a major of her identity via her book club. She discusses her favorite books and delves deeply into discussions with writers to create a group of readers who discover purpose and bonding via narratives in her book. She says that everything will be all right. Often suggests, particularly for young ladies seeking an increase in trust in the direction.